Hello, my friend. Amner Hunter here from amnerhunter.com. Happy to spend some time with you in another video. So, Izotope just released the version 11 of this well-known mastering tool and mastering suite, right? That also can be very helpful to mix, not only for mastering purposes. So, this is the brand new Ozone 11, right? And in this video I want to compare it with the Ozone 10, and I want to show you some of the new features in this 11th version and compare some audio tests and stuff like that. And of course the purpose to show you, or so that you can know if the upgrade it's worth it, right? So I'm gonna leave you all of the applicable links in the video description and first comment, and I will also leave you timestamps in case that you want to move around between the mini segments of the video. And since there is like introductory prices and stuff, I leave you also some links in the video description in case that you want to get the latest version. There is also, of course, an Elements version that I want to check out as well here. And this Elements, of course, version is a more stripped down version, a cheaper version of the big suite. All right, and in this video I want to also compare both of them. Before we begin with the content, let me invite you quickly to my website, amnerhunter.com, where you can grab some additional freebies, such as some free PDF guides and ebooks for music producers and guitar players, also some free tools, such as some collections of guitar impulses, some collections of drum sample packs, among other utilities. And finally, don't forget to check out this channel or my blog, which I am updating almost every day with content like this. Let me know if you're here in the live chat. I am very happy to hear from you always, your questions, comments, greetings, everything. Hello Acoustic, thanks a lot for being here, my friend. I appreciate it very much. So I am very well aware that you are aware of the Ozone mastering suite at this point, and I have reviewed some versions in the past. The version 10 that was the last, and it's already a year since it was released, version 10. So now it's version 11th, and like how quickly the time passed, right? Because 1 year already since version 10, it doesn't seem like it, definitely. So let's go ahead and go to my session here. All right, and by the way, it's the first time I'm sharing here in the channel a screen grab of, or not screen grab, a screen capture of waveform. I am testing this plugin out. I'm sorry, this plugin, this DAW, that it's available for free, waveform from Traction, right? That's the name of the company. Here I have the Ozone Advanced in the version 10 and the version 11th, right? As well as the advanced, like I said, there is an Elements version, and I'm going to check it out as well at the end of this video. Right, so let's start with the features of both of these plugins, right? Here is the Ozone 10 in the front and the Ozone 10, the 11 in the front, the 10th version in the back. So for instance, first let's compare the modules, right? So these tools are suites, complete suites of with tons of individual modules and plugins that combined make all of this huge signal chain, right? So here in this plus icon, you can see all of the different modules, right, that you add here to the signal chain. So these are the modules in the Ozone 10, okay? And let's check out and compare it with the Ozone 11th version, right? So a new module was added, right? The clarity module. I'm gonna add it here. So this clarity module adds some spectral processing, dynamic processing to the audio that is like taking out some frequencies that don't need according to the algorithm, and it's enhancing in real time some frequencies that might be helpful or that are good for the track, right? And this does it in a very automatic way, very simple to use. So that's the first difference right there. The other plugin doesn't have the clarity brand new function, right? Also, for instance, let's add another, for instance, the equalizer 1 here, and let's add also the equalizer 1 here in the 11 and the 10th version, equalizer 1. All right, so another feature that it's new in the 11 version is the delta. Right here, the delta function, you can listen specifically to what the processing is doing on each one of the modules. So this delta was added to most of the modules. It's not included in the 10th version, right? You cannot listen specifically to the processing of what that module is doing, all right? It's not the same as soloing the module. It's like soloing the processing, what it's adding or taking away, all right? And so that's another difference right there. And also one thing, one I think major update in this 11 version is this stems that you have in the top here. So for instance, if you put a track, by default it's in full mix, so you are affecting the full mix. But if you click here vocals, for instance, everything that you do, and that's why it's not only usable in mastering, right? It's also highly usable in mixing, because everything that you apply here and process will be applied to the vocal. So it's very, very impressive, this technology, because if you have a full track with all of the instruments, right, a stereo track, no stems, no individual tracks whatsoever, it's very impressive because the technology will only be applied to the vocals, and I'm going to show you that. All right, and also all of the processing in modules can be applied only to percussive elements of your mix, and it will leave untouched bass guitar, vocals, guitars, stuff like that, right? And also you can use the processing for only bass. Okay, so that's one major update as well, I think. And by default you set it here for full mix, and it will affect, of course, the full mix, right? So that's something that Ozone 10 doesn't have, and yeah, that's another big difference in the two versions. All right, so also another thing, for instance, let's add, let's say, dynamic EQ. Okay, another difference between the 11 and 10th version is this transient sustain, right, in each one of the modules as well, or most of them, I believe. So for instance, here I have Ozone 10, and as you see here, you can listen to the audio in stereo. You can apply mid-side processing or left or right separately, but you don't have that option, which is, let's check out here, transient and sustain, right? You select it here. Let's open up, for instance, another, the imager, let's say. It also has transient and sustain. All right, and in that way you can apply the processing, for instance, only to the transient, only to the first impact of any audio source, or you can apply the processing leaving out the transient and only applying it to the body of the signal, the sustain. Right? You can turn it off and turn it on like that, and pretty cool. And yeah, I think it's like that plugin from Eventide. It's I don't remember the name, but you can separate what you apply to the initial peak of the signal and from the body separately, right? The body, the decay, you can call it also the sustain, right? Different names, but it's pretty much the same. So you can also separate the signals in that. So the Ozone 10 doesn't have that option, but still you have all of these modules, right? Also, another thing that was added here in the Ozone 11 is in the module of the maximizer, right? A limiter. There is an upwards compression here, right? This upwards compression will add more detail to the valleys of the audio, right? It's not gonna compress from the top down, it's gonna compress from the bottom up, all right? And it can bring a lot of detail to the sounds. And here in the maximizer, let's check it out, there's no module for that, right? So those are the main differences. And so for instance, let's test some things here on these plugins. I'm gonna disable all of the modules. So for instance, let's choose here one of these modules. I have a full track here. And let's add, for instance, the equalizer. Right, so that's the track. So for instance, if I choose vocals here, if I make some EQ moves or something, everything will be applied only to the vocals, right? Oops. Let me turn off the other one. Yeah, it's overloading my CPU. Let's check it out here. Let's see. It's too much. All right. Well, yeah. In the live stream it's happening this, right? Because in the before the live stream everything was okay. But let's, for instance, try another thing here. Okay, I don't know if it's in my computer, but these plugins are very, very heavy, and this waveform was handling very, very well, right? Let's check it out. Let's try this on drums, for instance. Let's see. I have this disabled. Yeah. Nope. It's not working. Sorry for that. All right. Another thing that we can do is I have already the assistant, right? And let me check the other thing here. Besides that, so for instance, I have this other equalizer here, and full mix. Yeah, right there I am listening only the transient, and I can apply only to the transient. Here's the sustain. So for instance, we can apply, for instance, compression. Let's use here vintage compressor or dynamic EQ. Yeah, vintage compressor. So yeah, these plugins are a bit CPU hungry, right? But it's more the more reason with the live stream. So sorry for that, but let's apply some compression here. So I'm listening. Okay, the delta in action. Let's use, for instance, the, yeah, this is a good example, I think. The exciter, not the exciter, the imager, right? The imager will spread the signal to the sides a bit, making a mono signal more stereo. So for instance, I can, let's for instance use here transient and sustain. I can apply, for instance, stereo width only to the transients, right? Or only to the sustain. Let's check it out. That's the transient. Right, making it more mono or more stereo. Only the transient. Okay, and if I put the sustain here, more stereo. All right, let's also check out the other feature here in the maximizer, for instance. Upwards compression. Right, that's the upward compression new feature added. All right, so now, for instance, let's use the mastering assistant here. I have it off. Let's see, I'm gonna turn off all of the instances because it might overload the CPU. So I have the Ozone 10. It already analyzed the audio and the Ozone 11 as well. And let's combine. I'm sorry, not let's combine. Let's compare. Sorry. Okay. So the loudness will increase. So I suggest you just lower a bit your headphones or monitors. Okay. and let's compare the automatic mastering that these plugins do. Okay, so let's begin with the Ozone 10 here. I'm gonna turn it off and turn it on and go back and forth with the Ozone 11. So it eats more CPU, the 11, all right? Let me clarify that. So let's go back and forth again. Right, it seems louder, the track with the Ozone 11. It might be to the fact that some upwards compression that it's introducing, right? If you click here, like in Ozone 10, right? If you click here in this other icon, you can see the full signal chain, right? So let's check it out on here in the, okay, it's here. So this is the full signal chain. Okay, let's check out the maximizer here. Yeah, some upwards compression, for instance. Okay, and maximizer 2, 4. And also let's remember that you have here the options, right, for different genres, as well as in the Ozone 11. You have here also different genres to choose from. And let's compare the different functions here. Let me go back to them again. Okay, the Ozone 10 and 11. I don't know why they are like grayed out a bit. Yeah, the CPU is a bit intensive with these plugins. So there was, right? You see. Okay, let's go back here. And I'm gonna turn them off. And I'm gonna turn off the other one as well. I'm gonna go to these other two instances. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. But I'm gonna open up another instance here to see if it works. All right, there we go. So here in the assistant, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but we can. It's gonna take a while to analyze, right? Because of the CPU intensive they are. And let's use these. All right, there we go. And let's use the other one as well. So it's fixed, it seems. Yeah, they are fixed. Okay, so we have the same genres pretty much. Yeah, same genres. And let's check out, because the Elements version, a more stripped down version of Ozone 10 and 11, it's this module, right? The assistant, or like machine learning, artificial intelligence that will give you a result. So the difference is, for instance, this is the Ozone 10. Here are the settings that you can change, and parameters, values, right? You have the EQ curve here, and you can apply some EQ here, brighter, darker, some stabilizer, which is like dynamic EQ, and like soothe, or like golfos, right? That are applying and some frequencies, unmasking some problematic frequencies are being taken out. With that, with the stabilizer, you have width match to open up the stereo spectrum. You have dynamics match to create a bit more compression, and you have the maximizer finally, right? Here in the Ozone 10, you can optimize it for streaming, or DJ player has more loudness, but it's super loud. Maybe streaming it will not accept it. So the difference here in the Ozone 11 is, you have the same, like the equalizer here, but instead of being like this control, you have this other control that you apply like that, right? Double click and it resets the same. The loudness, which is the maximizer, here is the streaming, right? The meter, the same as the other one here. So these are the differences. The vocal balance in the Elements version in Ozone 11, right? This vocal balance will put the vocal in a good place in the mix, right? It, due to thousands and thousands of analysis by Izotope, and your vocal can be moved a bit with this level control, but the master assistant will leave it in a good place, sitting in the mix, right, with the instrumental, the vocal with the instrumental. So that's one added feature that the Ozone 10 doesn't have. Also, here, for instance, you can ignore these. The clarity and the dynamics match is not in the Elements version. I have the advanced here, but in the Elements version you have only the width and the stabilizer, right? And that's pretty much the same here, because you have the width and the stabilizer. So one new feature is the vocal balance, all right? And well, that's pretty much it. So conclusion, you don't need specifically to use the 11th version. I think you could wait for the 12th version maybe. But if you really like, if you really liked the other options, the stem options, very cool. I couldn't use it here on this video, but it's definitely worth the try, because this alone is has a lot of value. I think for most people, a lot of people can find it very useful to fix stuff in tracks that are like stereo tracks, and you can fix stuff in the vocals, in the drums, in the bass as well with this, without affecting the other stuff. So I think that it can be a very cool repair tool. All right, and what else? Yeah, the Ozone 11 is more CPU intensive than Ozone 10, so you need a good RAM and CPU for that. But since I am live streaming here, also because of that, but they work very well without the live streaming and all. They are good with that. But if you happen to add a lot of instances of these plugins, some things might not work out in your DAW, so be careful with that. So in conclusion, you probably don't need the latest version, but if you have if you find some value in these updates, you might give them a try. There is a free trial at their website. Alright, so this is my comparison of these couple of mastering tools. Let me go here. Alright, so let me know what you think of this plugin. I am very interested to know your opinion about what are your thoughts on this. Let's see if I have some people here in the live chat. Maybe something failed here. I don't know if the live stream went well. Just give me one moment here. Yeah, I can also compare the latest Nectar 4. Maybe that would be a good video content for you guys, so please let me know what you think of that. Let me read some comments here in the live chat. Yeah, these plugins are very intensive on my CPU. I have 8 GB of RAM, and with the live stream and all, it increases the intensiveness. Is that a word? So let me go ahead and check some comments here. So Acoustic says, considering Ozone 10 is about a year old, I hope they offer a decent customer loyalty upgrade price. I think I paid $49, says Mike. There's a loyalty upgrade price if you have 10. Yeah, there are some offers and deals for that. Alumnor, hope all is well, says Jeremiah. Thanks a lot, Jeremiah. Generation 98. El Ozono nunca decepciona, no hay proyecto que haga clipear mi PC. Exacto, Generación 98. Gracias, amigo, por andar por acá. He says that Ozone never disappoints. Jeremiah, have the 10 elements, got it free. It does the job for now, but at some point I'm thinking in upgrading to 11. Heavy on CPU, I'm sure, especially if you are streaming live at the same time. No worries, I understand. Thanks a lot, Acoustic, for the super thanks. Appreciate it, my friend. Never mind, I actually have Ozone 9 elements. Definitely should upgrade, I'm thinking. Yeah, I also got the Ozone 9 elements for free, I believe. Build looks like bypass is enabled. That's why it's grayed out. It wasn't enabled. That was the thing that. Yeah. So there you go, my friends. Let me know what you think. And also let me invite you one last time to my website where I have some additional freebies for you, such as some free PDF guides and ebooks, some guitar impulses, some sample packs available for free. Don't forget to check out this channel or my blog, which I am updating almost every day with content like this. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it very much. I will see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.